So let's talk about increases to Social Security. And I want to be very clear on this. There are discussions, there are some negotiations of potential increases, which you could see additional money in your bank account, in your wallet, simply because of your check that you get every single month. Now, I've come on here and I've said this before, that it's going to be very difficult to see an increase to Social Security benefits. But I want to be very clear on this. Even though it'd be difficult to see Congress come out and just increase your benefits, there are ways they can do that, which would get bipartisan support from Republicans and Democrats. And that's what I want to discuss today. Because yes, it is possible. Actually, it's more than possible, because even President Biden, he's considering this massive raise that could put more money in your pocket. So make sure you stick around for this entire video, and I'll explain exactly what is going on. So here's a raise that we all know is coming. And this is not what President Biden is looking at, but this is something that experts say has to be addressed. And that is that cost of living adjustment. Currently, the cost of living adjustment for 2023 was 8.7%. This was a substantial increase, and in 2024, it's only going to be 3.2%, so much less, but it's still an increase. Now, experts say we need to look at the cost of living adjustment and determine if the calculations are correct. Should we move on from the current calculation to something called the CPI-E? It's the Consumer Price Index for the elderly. Now, this has been discussed before, but it turns out by switching from the current CPI calculation to the CPI-E, it would actually create an increase. And you're probably thinking, well, that's good. The problem is, and this is what lawmakers are looking at, this is what President Biden is looking at, is that would create an even bigger deficit for the Social Security Trust Fund, which means the trust fund could become insolvent sooner than 2034. So that right there is out of the question. The next thing, and this is where things get very interesting. I want to tell you a little story first, okay? So back in 1983, this was the last time Social Security was really touched. This was the last big reform bill. Well, back in 1983, what happened was they decided they were going to introduce taxes on Social Security benefits. So that's exactly what they did. And in that bill, it stated that 50% of your Social Security benefits would be taxed if your combined income exceeded $25,000 per year for an individual or $32,000 for couples filing jointly. To this day, that still stands. $25,000 and $32,000 for couples. Well, fast forward 10 years later to 1993, and another bill was enacted where it created another threshold and this was supposed to target the wealthy. So if you made over $34,000 as an individual, or $44,000 if you're married filing jointly, then up to 85% of your combined income would be taxable. Okay? Up to 85%. So what's interesting about all this is this was first introduced to go after the wealthier people here in the United States. Just to give you an idea, back in 1983, the median income was about $25,000 per year. Today in 2023, the median income is 3 times that, about $75,000 per year. So if we bring, and this is where things get interesting, okay? I bring this up because lawmakers are trying to tax the wealthy, saying the wealthier individuals need to pay their fair share in taxes. But according to experts, they are now telling us to be prepared. They say that taxing the wealthy today is just another way of taxing ordinary people tomorrow. Think about that, because that's essentially what would happen. Now, Here's what lawmakers want to do. Lawmakers want to ensure that Social Security remains solvent for the next 75 plus years. And the way they want to do that is to, as of right now, increase the Social Security tax cap. Currently, in 2023, it's $160,200. In 2024, it's $168,600. Okay, just that additional $8,400. Just that additional money, that would actually tax people an additional $1,000 per year. Okay, a little bit over $1,000 per year if you make more than $168,600. But what lawmakers are discussing is, can we raise that to $400,000 per year? Okay. However, here's where things are starting to get somewhat interesting again, because many Democrats who do not want to be named are talking in private, saying that if President Biden does not get his second stint as a president, okay, if he doesn't make it the second term, then Democrats would agree to $250,000 instead of $400,000. That's something that Republicans say that they could potentially get behind. All right, not all of them, but some. Now, so where are these increases coming from? Well, we have the cost of living adjustment, but the big one, the big increase that President Biden is looking at, this massive raise, is raising that threshold. Because what we are hearing is that 1 out of every 5 people on Social Security are looking into getting a job. They're looking into finding a job so they can make more money, because their Social Security benefits every single month are not enough. It's not enough. They can't make it. They can't pay their electric bill. They can't put food on the table. They can't pay their house. They can't pay their car payment or insurance or cell phone or Netflix account. It's just too much. So what we're hearing is that President Biden is considering this massive raise. Let's raise those limits that were set back in 1983. Because again, like I said, those limits, that $25,000 and $32,000, those were set in 1983. Those are meant to get the wealthiest individuals to pay their fair share in taxes. Right now, that's not what's happening. What's happening is normal, everyday people that get $2,000 a month, a little bit over $2,000 per month, they are having to pay taxes because now their Social Security benefits and their income exceeds $25,000 per year. That is what they're discussing. Now, I just want to be very clear on this. And I've said this before. Do I see Congress coming out and saying, you know what? We're going to change our calculations and we're just going to give every single Social Security recipient an additional $200 per month. I don't see that happening. That is something I've been very clear on, that is not going to happen because the United States doesn't have the money. Okay? The Social Security Trust Fund is going to become insolvent within the next 10 years. That can't happen. So what lawmakers are looking to do is decrease the amount of money that's going out every single month, which is very problematic because more than 10,000 baby boomers are now becoming eligible for Social Security benefits every single day. 10,000 per day. The other issue is there's a lot of people that are not going back to work. They aren't going back to work. Why? Why would they go back to work when their expenses are so high? Maybe they have children. Maybe they need to stay home. So now there's less money going into the Social Security Trust Fund, but there's more money coming out. So this is why there's a lot of discussions on these potential increases. It's not just an increase on benefits. Could be an increase on the tax threshold. Could be an increase on your cost of living adjustments. Could be an increase on your full retirement age. There's a lot of discussions on increases. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. So, as we get more information, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates, but that is what we know as of right now. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.